We're gonna do the you're on, I think. Can you hear me, Joseph?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So we'll do first, I'll do our greetings for like the next 5 minutes or so, and then you can take over we'll start with trading, and then I'll go to the markets after that. And I think after that, Deanna, you'll be up, which should be probably like around quarter of the hour to the hour for the your session. Okay, so
All
that
right.
should be about our timing. But we'll start just by greeting everybody, bringing folks in over the next few minutes here. I'm going to send out a few more reminders over social media so everybody knows that we are starting. And good, good. Well, and Joseph, do you want to try your screen sharing and make sure everything's working? Just
Okay, let me just do that.
want to test it out.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it. Looks good.
Ah, okay. So let me just minimize it quickly. Okay then. So I'll take this quickly. Sorry, Mr. John, how many minutes do I have?
You probably have a good 20 to 30, I think. 20, I'd say 20 plus questions.
Okay. Okay, so I'll
Yeah,
walk
so the
through.
first hour we'll get through all the kind of the intro and the top
Yeah,
stuff.
I have another meeting, so I'll try and round it up within 20 to 30 minutes and be done quickly.
All right, sounds good. So let me do this. Sure. All right. And as your audio and video working, everything's okay?
Oh, okay. So can you hear me now?
I
Can you
can hear
hear?
you fine. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Good.
So, quick one before we go into the chats. I believe everyone knows my name by now. I'm
Hmm.
Joseph Lai, from Gambia currently. Um, Founder and owner of New Era FX Academy. And today I'll just be walking you guys down through um, the Bitcoin breakdown I've been doing so far for the past 2 to 3 years now. I've been following Bitcoin for about 3 years. Yeah, let's say 3 years now. And it has been playing significantly on certain key levels that I've been observing. So I'll just quickly walk us through what we did previously on our previous meeting and how Bitcoin is currently behaving and what we should expect in the coming weeks and months. So quickly, our last class I did spoke about Bitcoin moving to the downside, and currently on my screen I have um, highlighted some key layers that I'm expecting Bitcoin to react to significantly. Previously, before we had all of this move, that is from this level, from somewhere around 104,773 to where market is currently, we had seen Bitcoin playing up and down inside of these areas. I believe I had a trend line somewhere around here, um, somewhere around here. This was one of the trend lines I had, which is going extremely to the downside on this other side here, somewhere around here. And I mentioned that if we see Bitcoin break up below this zone and below this support, we should expect Bitcoin to go further down. And this was a minor resistance that we were looking at that contributed or reacted significantly to the price falling all the way down to where we're even seeing it now. Yeah. So we anticipated that these layers I have, so the yellow layers are significant level, key levels, and the minor ones, so this should be yellow, this should be yellow, this one below should be a yellow one. These zones inside are just internal zones or minor zones that I'm expecting market to react to. Yeah. So however, sorry about that. However, what I wanted us to look at carefully is the way price has been aggressive to the downside and how it has been reacting on this level. So before all of this happened, we're anticipating that if this area was respected, we should see price moving to the upside, potentially giving us a new all-time high or somewhere within the all-time high. And unfortunately, we didn't see that. And we see Bitcoin breaking below this area, sustaining that momentum all the way down to even other lower levels. So this was the breakout we got, and I was expecting even a pullback into the previous zone. Usually when market breaks a level, I would want to confirm that breakout by waiting for a pullback, a retest to that level, then seeing market leaving that level in the same direction as a continuation. But this was so aggressive that even the pullback we had was somehow minor. We had something internally here, which I will show you on 1 hour. If you notice, we had something like a breakout here at this level here. So this, if we adjust this trend line, we would get something like this. Because we are going on the lesser time frames, we might not have this. On the higher time frame, we might not have the specific areas, but once we narrow down to the lesser time frame, we would see those areas. And this was a breakout of that area, a pullback and a continuation to the downside. Now, the reason why I would like to wait for a higher time frame confirmation is because on the higher time frame, it validates those breakout points, and we can be rest assured that those breakouts are not fake outs, but indeed breakouts. So if you go on probably, let's say on 4-hour time frame, you would see clearly that minor reaction. But in my case, what I want to see is that the price is actually trading below those zones, and market is actually breaking with candle bodies and not wicks. And notice the moment we see the bodies of the candle closing below those areas became significant in terms of the breakout we're looking out for. Likewise on the daily time frame. So if you see on daily, we had this pull and there was a rejection. So for me, I would still want to wait because this rejection could be a rejection that is rejecting the entire price at this level for a continuation to the upside. So I want to see the candle bodies closing below. And we had this nice candle body that was very aggressive to the downside. And after we saw this, we saw minor pullbacks within this level. So this was another layer I was also anticipating that price will react to. And that is the layer we are seeing here. We had this minor movement, but everything was just below till it finally broke below the zone. And eventually we had price trading below. And notice I said something, once the candle body starts sustaining below, we should expect price to go below. So if I remove this area here, you could see clearly that the moment we got this 4-hour, so I would consider the 4-hour candle or the 4-hour time frame or session as the midline between the higher time frame and the lesser time frame. Anything below that might not be that significant. In other words, it could be manipulative or misleading us as to what price is doing. Sorry about the noise. Where I am, they are renovating. I just knew about it now. Sorry about the background noise. So currently we see 4-hour breakout of that zone. Now, the moment we got this breakout, it was obvious that price has broken another level. And for me, once the bodies are sustaining below that level, it simply means that price is still not ready to go above. And once it's below that level, I'm not expecting price to do anything above till it breaks that same level and sustains above it. Then I will look into buying that asset. But since everything is below, that's why ever since I've just been looking to buy Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin, because there are no buy momentums unless it is reacting from a key support level. So that is what we got here. And now we see Bitcoin still going down. Now, all of these layers I've highlighted, if you look carefully, market has reacted significantly at those levels. Notice how market came into this zone, reacted, went back. So this is usually what I want to see. A break of the zone, a retest, a pullback. This is just a continuation for me. Once market comes back, I know it's going to go lower. So Every other thing below would just be a zone that market will react to, but not necessarily change the direction till we get a major shift in the market. And still, I haven't seen that shift, because even looking at what price is doing now, I did mention that one of the behaviors Bitcoin has is creating what we call this channel movement. And once market breaks out of this channel, continuation is what we should expect. So if you look carefully, this is similar to what we are saying. So this is a bearish channel. So I'm expecting it, if market eventually breaks out of this, we should expect a further drop to the downside. Okay. I'll show you another thing as well. Let me just explain this briefly. So this is what we've been seeing lately and how market has been reacting on these levels. So this level was a level that I had prior predicted that these are levels that if markets begins to break them, we should expect it to go lower and lower till we see a major shift or a change in the market in terms of market direction. And until now, we have not seen anything significant. BTC, as far as I'm concerned, what the charts are showing me, BTC is still very bullish. And if we look at weekly, what we are seeing could be a reaction, but until we see a major shift, we won't not just conclude that the direction of the market has changed. Now, if you look carefully, all of these candles on the weekly time frame has been very bearish, and we are seeing strong momentum on the downside, even though we are seeing some reaction and some lose of momentum on the downside. But mind you, if you look at all these weekly candles, they are still trading within the range of this previous candle that market gave us this impulse. So I want to see market come out of the range of this bullish momentum, this bearish momentum for us to consider a bullish move. However, Bitcoin is currently standing at a very critical stage for me, from my own opinion, which is to say, there are two things I'm expecting Bitcoin to do: to distribute on the downside or on the upside. But before it does that, we should expect a manipulation. So the manipulation simply could be Bitcoin could be lagging or playing around for the next couple of weeks or till the ending of this year or somewhere into January. Then we would see maybe a massive distribution either to the downside or to the upside. However, we cannot say where it will happen. But one thing I know is that looking at the way institutions are purchasing Bitcoin, we should expect something serious coming soon. Whatever that thing might be, it could be a distribution or another manipulation. Now, the reason why I say distribution or manipulation is simply because institutional traders want to get as much Bitcoin they can get from most retailers that are holding a lot of Bitcoin. And they are willing to go as far as possible to drain or take as much as they can take before we see market moving significantly to the upside. So what I would say is be on guard and be alert to see what price will do. So if we are to see a distribution happen to the upside, what we should expect is we should see some signs of that move, because the market does not just jump suddenly from one place to another. There are signs and symptoms the market will show you. And that is why I always emphasize that if you are in the digital space, it is a must that you have technical knowledge, at least basic technical knowledge about how these movements are significant in price action itself. So from a technical perspective, I know for a fact that Bitcoin is overall still bullish. Now, if you notice this level, these are levels I have highlighted from 2023 all the way to 2022. Sorry about that. That these are key levels. As far as I'm concerned, this is another level that if market gets to this 78, between 78 and 72, it could result to a serious or a massive spike to the upside. Now, if market breaks below this level, I can't say how far market can go lower before we see the next bull run in Bitcoin. But that could be anywhere. Okay? So for now, I would want us to just be very more observant in what price is doing. if you look at these prices I've highlighted, you could see these channel patterns that Bitcoin forms and breaks out of them. It forms these channel patterns and breaks out of them. So even on 4-hour, I'm seeing a similar thing. This is also something similar. I did mention all of these on our previous class, that these are behaviors that once market creates this kind of accumulation on higher time frames, usually the breakouts can be very significant. So you can see once it accumulates, it breaks out. It accumulates, it breaks out. This channel is forming an accumulation, which in some cases will give us certain form of manipulation before we see this massive distribution to the upside. So at this point in time, what I want to see is how Bitcoin will react. That's why so far I haven't done much on Bitcoin, because I'm still waiting to see what it's going to do on this key level. So if we look carefully, this is a block that Bitcoin is reacting to. If market comes back below this zone, I don't expect it to respect this level again. So for now, it could, but I mean, I'm saying the chances are less. So currently what Bitcoin is doing is kind of looking for an escape plan out of all of this that is happening currently. So what we need to do is wait to see how market will react on these levels. For the meantime, I'm still very bearish on Bitcoin, and I'm probably looking to sell Bitcoin if it gets to this area here we're seeing here. That is, sorry if I don't, I am all about the.
Your audio broke up a little bit there, Joseph.
So the numbers really don't matter to me at the end of the day. It's the levels, because the levels determine the moves in the market. So if I'm not calling the levels, just bear with me. So this is somewhere around
Joseph,
92,000 and 92. I would really want to sell Bitcoin again to the downside. Hello?
your audio broke up a couple
Hello?
of times there.
Okay, okay. I'm really expecting Bitcoin to drop to the downside. I think I shared this on the group, that if Bitcoin breaks below this 4-hour block, we should expect Bitcoin to go lower, because these are just minor areas. These are like stepping stones that lead market to go in a certain direction that is already going. So this just makes the entire move to the upside or to the downside more significant. So now I'm seeing market is coming down again into this. If I refine the zone, mind you, I said I noticed Bitcoin has been behaving similar to what gold does. If we identify a level of resistance or support, it kind of spikes above those areas at supply and demand areas. So this ideally will be my recent or most current area in terms of price. So if market has to come back into this zone, I'm expecting to reject within this block. So the block will be somewhere above it. That is this entire zone. So blocks are mainly levels that cause impulsive moves to a certain direction. So we expect those moves to be initiated or brought by institutional traders. They're the guys that really, because once you see this massive move, it means that, man, there is a lot of money moving. And people that do that are the institutional traders. They are the ones that have the capacity to move markets significantly because they trade in high volumes. So I'm expecting this to move significantly if market comes back into this zone, which is around a key level too for us. So that's just it for now. And secondly, I want to use this opportunity to highlight something very, very serious that I didn't get to speak about on our previous class, which is the DXY, the dollar index. Now, one of the ways I track Bitcoin, I use the dollar index because currencies or assets are traded in pairs. So it's always one currency against the other, the quote against the base or the base against the quote, either ways. So at the end of the day, if one currency is going up, it simply means automatically means the next one is going down because both pairs cannot go in the same direction. They don't correlate that way. So it's either they're always pairs correlate negatively. So it means if one goes up, one goes down. So the dollar index is what I use to track. I do fundamentals, but not too much of fundamentals because sometimes it can be just overwhelming with too many things and too many noise. So for me, the best thing to do is to just know the very currency that is trading against my pair or the pair I'm looking at, what is happening to it. And the dollar index is the best way to what? Look at Bitcoin. So if you look at the dollar index currently, I'll get back to BTC in a bit. Now, this is my current anticipation. Now, I did send a screenshot of this. If you look at this on 4 hour, I did mention, for those of you that are following me and following my post on the page, I did mention that if the dollar index, which is the dollar itself, breaks below this zone, we should expect what Bitcoin to go up. Once dollar is dropping, Bitcoin is going up. So the reason why we are seeing this significant move in price to the upside with Bitcoin is because of the way the dollar index has been falling. I did mention too that this is another key level, that if we see price reject or resist, we should expect some halt or some resistance in the movement of price to the upside with Bitcoin. And that is why we are currently seeing Bitcoin is kind of resisting. Now, all of these, I don't know how to put it, but the market is kind of intertwined. It's like a chain work. Everything is in place. Nothing works accidentally. Nothing is by mistake. So if you understand the dynamics of how these things work, you are able to communicate better or to interpret what the price is actually doing. Because for every single time price moves or reacts in a certain way, there is a reason behind it. These things don't happen by accident. The reason why Bitcoin was dropping is because when the dollar index broke below this zone and retest, it started dropping. These are all technical principles that makes us to stream out all the noise and all the fundamentals out there that can be too overwhelming for us to just focus on what exactly is happening. And this is how I look at the market entirely. So at this point in time, I am saying this: if this level is not broken and we see market resist and continue going to the upside, we would continue seeing dollar. We'll continue seeing the Bitcoin dropping. So far as the dollar is going up, Bitcoin definitely would drop. And so far as, because there is no index for Bitcoin currently, so I wouldn't say if Bitcoin is dropping entirely, it means the same. If Bitcoin is dropping, it means the dollar is appreciating. So in 2023, I made an analysis of what the reason why we see Bitcoin moving significantly like the way we are seeing is not an accident. Now, the reason why I said this, if you look at close to this chart, on this chart, if you look at this one I highlighted, are you guys seeing this where my cursor is at the moment? This one here.
Yes.
Hello. This is
Yes.
somewhere in October 2023. I took a screenshot of this and kept it in my archive, that if the dollar index breaks above this level, we would see Bitcoin move drastically to the upside. And you see somewhere in 2023 is this same chart you're looking at is what we are seeing opposite it here. Now, the lines below, I've changed all of that because I've adjusted the way I look at the market now. All of these can be just too much, makes the charts look dirty and like confusing sometimes. For someone who has no technical understanding, too many lines can be confusing. So that's why I have reduced all the lines you're seeing below. But if you look at the levels above, look at the levels above carefully. This last peak we saw here is what we are seeing here. This is a weekly time frame. Now, I had already highlighted this zone below it, which is what we are seeing now. I'm saying if the dollar index resists at this level, we should see what Bitcoin going up. And notice the dollar index was dropping and dropping. It dropped to somewhere around 100.394. And that is why we saw Bitcoin doing what it was doing within this time frame. Now, this was somewhere in October, on the 8th of October 2023. So on the 8th of October 2023, it is somewhere around here. That's it right here, where the cursor is on my Do you see this? Let me just look for a line so that it will be more visible for others. So this is somewhere October 8th. This was the last screenshot I did. And now look at how price reacted on even the levels. Look at this. Look at this. This happened in 2014 November and in 2025 November and in 2024, sorry, November, and in 2025 January. And the reason why we saw Bitcoin doing that massive push to the upside again is because that same level I highlighted in 2023 reacted significantly in 2025. And that is why this drop contributed to why we saw Bitcoin doing that massive move till it gave us this all-time high we are seeing. And currently, we're seeing that the dollar, I can just delete this now quickly. Currently, we can see that there is a range happening within the dollar index. So I would just delete this because I don't use this internal zones like I do before. So if you look at currently, the reason why I believe there is a tendency that there is great tendency that Bitcoin would move up is because this level price is still trading below this level. This breakout we are seeing here, this is a key level. Now, this is a very key level. Why? Because this is a level that has been reacting significantly from 2023 all the way to 2025 for the next 3 years. For the past 3 years, sorry, this level has been reacting significantly. So the moment we have a break below this, this support has been turned to resistance. So that is why we are seeing for the longest time during the course of the year, we are seeing that what Bitcoin has been doing everything, but the dollar index has been doing everything, but failing to go above this zone. The only time I expect Bitcoin to drop in a very significant way that is probably beyond our expectation is if the dollar index goes above this zone. The moment the dollar index, let me look for a tool to do this. The moment the dollar index does this, I really don't know what we should expect, but Bitcoin will be doing some serious crashing. Some serious crashing. I'm not saying it's going to crash forever, but I'm saying many investors would have to wait for a very long time to see Bitcoin do what they're expecting to do. At the end of the day, Bitcoin is a long-term goal. At the end of the day, every crypto, so far as it has a good ecosystem and a good community, is a long-term project. So what we just need to look at right now is the possibility of what price could do at these key levels. So currently, I would say I'm waiting to see. No, that's not going to work. That line is not going to work. So let me just delete this. So let me delete all of this. So currently, what I'm waiting to see is how the dollar index will behave. All of these zones in between are just minor areas. These are just minor areas. So these are just minor areas that price could react to, and it's currently reacting to that. So let's see that on daily. So you can clearly see that. But again, I'm seeing a behavior that, this is a double top from a technical perspective. So usually when we see a double top, it simply means if market, let me look for in the tool. Okay, so this is a double top. This would be the neckline, and this will be the second top. So if market breaks below this, this is what I'm expecting to the downside. So in terms of probability, I would say Bitcoin has more probability. If the dollar index breaks below this zone, Bitcoin has more probability to really do some massive moves to the upside. Until then, I'm just going to be watching and seeing what price is going to do. So for now, I'm just watching Bitcoin. For me, it's standing in between at this point in time, because one move to the upside, breaking this level, could result to Bitcoin dropping drastically to the downside. And one move to the downside and the dollar index trading below this level could lead to Bitcoin moving to the upside drastically. Now, the volatility at which this price would move, I can't really determine that. Hardly would someone be able to determine that. But what I'm saying is that price can do certain moves within a short period of time, and it could do the same move in a long period of time. So the aggressiveness at the moment, we can't say, but there could be a possibility that if the dollar index breaks below, and let's say it's aggressive, we could see some aggressive move of Bitcoin to the upside. All of these is possible. So at the meantime, I would say let's just keep our fingers crossed. But again, I want us to take another picture of what I am anticipating that could possibly happen to Bitcoin based on my technical opinion. So currently, Bitcoin is also forming another channel. And I've mentioned what these channels can do at the end of the day. If market happens to break them, let me delete this quickly. So let me just extend this. Okay, that's it here. Take another one, drag it to the other side. So now this is what I'm saying. Already, I am seeing another channel forming, and this is on a higher time frame. Now, similar to what I've been saying, if market forms a channel like you see it did here, if we get a breakout of this channel, this is what we should expect, an aggressive move to the upside, this aggressive move to the upside. Now, if Bitcoin is able, now the reason why I'm saying Bitcoin is a bit, how would I say it? Is a bit, which word can I use? Is a bit delicate at the moment is because I am seeing an internal channel and an external channel. Now, if you look at this from this internal perspective, you see how market is forming a bearish channel. Now, this is a bearish channel. This is a bearish channel. So a bearish channel simply means if market breaks below this, we should expect the same approach. That is, if we have this move, if market breaks below it, we should have this same move to the downside. So there is a bearish channel forming within a bullish channel. So if market happens to break above this, level this way, if market happens to break above like this, we should expect what? A continuation to the source of this impulsive move to the downside. So this is what I'm saying. That is why I said it's a little bit in between. So at the moment, trying to go in on Bitcoin for the long term, especially those that are hodling, for instant execution, you can look for so many technical factors to execute trades. But for the long-term view, I wouldn't want to predict. Usually what I like to do is I like to follow the market instead of predicting the market. Because when you try to predict, you're putting yourself at a position where you either have to be right or wrong. But when you follow the market, you're always right because you're actually doing what the market is already doing. All you're doing is just following through. So at the moment, I am still bearish on Bitcoin, and that is because of the levels I'm seeing. Now, if there is no 100% at the end of the day assurance in what the market could do. It's all a game of probability. The higher the probability, the higher your chances. But if Bitcoin manages to break above this, this could just be another move to the upside and a breakout to the external channel that we're seeing, which will be this level I have here. So if we get this move, let me just try to make sure we get it accurate. If we get this breakout here, sorry. If we get this breakout here, we should expect, if market breaks, now I don't want market to just break at this level. I want it to break out of this entire level. This is my safe havens for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does this, then I am relieved that Bitcoin will possibly go up, because now it's going to cause what I call a shift. A shift will give me this kind of behavior. Let me look for the tool to use that. So this would be a perfect shift. Now, notice price is doing this. Price is doing this. This is going to the downside. So when we see a shift, price will start doing the opposite to the other side. So this shift is what changes market direction. So once we get this continuation in this behavior, we should expect what? A shift to the upside. So it's still too early. It's still too early to conclude that we are getting a shift. But once markets start breaking these key levels, we should expect that to really come true. And even the moment that happens, there is another pattern I'm already seeing, which will be the inverse head and shoulder. Inside of it, there is also another pattern that I will be seeing, which is similar to the inverse head and shoulder. You can check it out. It's called the Quasimodo. So the Quasimodo has the difference between the Quasimodo type of head and shoulder is that it does not sustain on the necklines. It's doing price is actually going beyond the necklines. So in this case, this would be more like a neckline if we are looking at an inverse head and shoulder. So once market takes this level out, I want it to take the entire zone, because for me, support and resistance is just not one price area. It's a zone. So it's just like if we say the dollar is sitting around 75 or 85 dollars, that is in my currency. Sorry about the noise. I'm really sorry about that. 75
Hey,
to,
Joseph, and while you're paused for just a second, we should get into Q&A. We've probably got about 5 or 10 minutes to do some Q&A, and then when you go
yeah,
over to
I'm almost
Deanna,
done.
and then I was going to throw a quick question in there to start that up. By the way, we
Okay.
have the whole idea of the regular cycle, which it looks like this may not be a regular cycle, versus a super cycle, which is the
Yeah.
idea this is going to be a extended cycle well through 2026.
Yeah.
Does that apply to your analysis in any way?
Come again, please.
The idea of there being a regular Bitcoin cycle, which usually you'd have like a big blow off top now,
That's
and
the
then
bull
it would go
run that
down.
they're expecting within
Yeah.
the 3 years.
Versus
Okay. Okay.
versus the super cycle, right? The super cycle
Okay.
idea is that we're going to stay kind of in this kind of sideways zone, but we'll have a cycle that's going to keep going up through 26.
Now, for me, what I've been doing is I've been seeing all of these theories, but what I try to do is not to confuse myself with the knowledge they're applying to it if I don't understand it to their level or how they interpret it. So what I actually do is I try to just, there is no truth greater than what price is doing on the charts. At the end of the day, if we're going to see all the anticipation that people are saying in terms of market is going to be, there's going to be another bullish run. What I am saying, there is no how that is going to happen, and we are not seeing signs of it on the chart. They must. It's just like when they say, before you see a fire, you must before you start a fire, you must first see a smoke. Okay, fire does not just start without smoke. If there's going to be a fire, there's going to be a smoke. The smoke is the sign. So what I'm saying is, if Bitcoin is definitely going to do whatever they are saying, like the cycle of the next big bull run, there would be a smoke, and the smoke would be on the charts. I have been trading for the past 4 or 5 years now. The candlesticks don't lie. The volumes in the candles don't lie. You would see signs. If market is rejecting price, it's going to show you. If you understand the anatomy of the candlestick, there is nothing that is going to happen that it wouldn't show you. There are definitely signs. Let's say, for example, let me just walk you through what I'm saying quickly. Let's say, for example, they're anticipating that there's going to be a crash. Okay, let's assume I don't have the fundamental updates or insight about why there's going to be a crash. But based on my basic knowledge on the candlestick anatomy, I know for a fact this is a key level. Now, if everybody is saying there's going to be a crash, I'm saying if there's going to be a crash, I don't want to predict the crash at this level. Okay, I want to make sure that if there's going to be a crash, let it show me. And how is it going to show me? Once markets start going down, from my knowledge of what the candlestick anatomy is, these are candles that are showing me what there is momentum on what the downside, because this candle you're seeing is called the bullish or the bearish, sorry, in this case, the bearish engulfing. engulfing candles is simply means one candle engulfing the other, meaning one candle dominating the other. And depending on the time frame I'm seeing it, the higher the time frame, the more significant what the pattern or the formation becomes. In this case, this is a 4-hour time frame, and I did mention 4-hour time frame is like the middleman between the lesser time frame and the higher time frame. So it's the best, highest, or a smallest time frame you can stand to predict or forecast what price could do, because going lesser than that could be just misleading and manipulating at the end of the day, because these are just it's just like a magnifying glass into what is really happening. The bigger picture tells us what really is happening, which is the higher time frame. I am seeing that from here. I don't want to predict. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to predict. I just want to follow through. And these are signs. Market has just given me what? A bullish engulfing. It has broken the previous low that led to the higher high. This breakout here, this minor break of the previous lower high, to me, based on from a technical perspective, this is a change of character. Now, what do I see to consider a shift? I should see a change of character, a break of structure, a pullback to those demand and supply zones for what? A confirmation that we are ready to move. It's just like when you want to start a car, when you want to drive a car, probably you've parked it for a while. You want to start it up, warm it up. This is a warm up for me. So notice once it pulls back after it, this is a change of character. Below it, I would consider this a break of structure. So let me just copy that. A change of character, a break of structure. Now, the moment I see this behavior, I know what this is what I'm looking for. So why is everybody is trying to predict it? Because this could have been a breakout to the upside. Why is everybody trying to get in here? I'm saying, no, I want to be sure that it wouldn't take nothing away from me if I have to wait for this, which is a higher probability for me and a confirmation for me to start selling at this level. For me to start selling at this level, I'm probably looking at selling at this level and getting a result than trying to predict what price will do when it's above. I wouldn't mind to do this, because this at the end of the day is doing the same thing. It's still going down. I'm just getting in when I'm very sure that it's actually going down, than trying to catch it here at the wicks, which is at the extreme zones. Probably reward will be greater, but I mean, this for me is risk. So if I have an idea that I'm going to risk a lot to get price at the extreme zone and gain more than to get something similar to the reward I'm looking for, but at a shorter or at a higher probability zone, I'd rather go with the second option, because the risk factor that is attached to the first option could cost me a lot. I don't want to predict the price. And the reason why I would not want to is because I am nowhere close or nowhere exposed to the bodies or to the resources that could give me accurate data to determine such a move in the market. So what I want to do to stay safe is I want to look for the signs, because once the signs come in and I understand what the signs would look like, I'm jumping in. So for what I would say with regards to what you're asking me at this moment is that I can't tell you right now if Bitcoin is going to be bullish or bearish, but I'm definitely going to tell you that if it's going to be bearish, it's going to show me a sign, and I'll let you guys know. Those signs are what I follow. I follow it layer to layer, layer to layer, layer to layer, till it eventually gets to where I want it. So as far as price is going to move, it's not going to jump, it's not going to skip, it's going to move through a process. That process is what I look at to determine how far it's going to go. That's how I actually look at the market.
Okay, and let me see if there's any other questions before we finish up on the Q&A side. Anybody else have questions here for Joseph on the trading analysis? Welcome, Yvette. All right, very good. Joseph, thank you. And I think we will start the session now. Deanna, who is our guest today, will go next. So I think we're good. Joseph, any last thoughts there?
Yeah, so I was also looking at Solana. I don't know if you guys trade Solana, so you can see carefully. These are the same areas I highlighted. I think I shared this. Bitcoin is the father of all crypto. So once Bitcoin start to move up, the rest follow. So if you notice carefully, when I first drew this, Solana was nowhere close. Solana was somewhere around here. But you see how it reacts to this level. These are key levels. Over time, I've been able to determine. Hello?
I think we have an open mic. Hold on. Yep, there we go. Got it.
Okay, over time that I've been able to determine because of how price reacts. Sorry, let me just close that. How price react on this level. So if you're also looking into trading Solana, Solana follows Bitcoin a lot. I've also noticed that if you look at the structures and the patterns, it's almost similar. If you look carefully, we are having the same thing forming here. That is this channel here. You can see that here. So if we have a breakout to on this, we should see Solana tanking up to the upside. So all of these, I would say, is also influenced by the price of Bitcoin and what Bitcoin is doing. So what I would say is, let us just watch carefully. And also, sorry about that. If you're on the page, follow up. I would definitely be sending the updates as much as they come in. If it is necessary, if there's anything significant I'm seeing the price of Bitcoin is doing, I will let you guys know immediately. But for long-term investors, I would still say be ready to see Bitcoin do the unexpected and be comfortable with it if you're looking into the long-term investment, because I believe overall Bitcoin will still appreciate in value. The only thing is that we can't say for sure when it's going to happen and how soon it's going to happen. But I know definitely Bitcoin will give us another all-time high. That's for sure. So far as Bitcoin is still trading above these levels, especially above 75,000, between 78,000 and 73,000. So far as Bitcoin is trading above this level, I expect it to go up. The reason why I'm saying this, when market is trending, it forms what we call series of higher highs and higher lows. And if you look at Bitcoin, that is what Bitcoin has been doing so far. This is another higher high. This is a higher high. All of these are higher high. So until market invalidates the previous higher low, which would be this, I am still very bullish on Bitcoin overall. If this level is still sustained, Bitcoin could range, play around, but it's still bullish. Until we see market take this previous higher low, this higher low change will be very significant if Bitcoin goes lower than this. But until then, Bitcoin could still rally in and out, come down all the way to 78,000 and impulse to the upside. If Bitcoin does not go below this, I'm still very bullish. If it goes below this, I really can't tell how far Bitcoin is going to crash.
I like your
But
bullish sentiment, so maybe we'll close on the bullish sentiment, Joseph.
yeah.
All right. Very good. Thank you, sir. And Deanna, if you're there, let me see if I have you in as host. We're gonna bring you in for your session here next. You there, Deanna?
Yes, I'm here. I was trying to, can you see my screen okay?
Yes, your screen is coming up. So
Awesome.
Deanna, special guest for us today, and I think you actually shared with me your bio. So she is with Legacy Crypto Builders, and I need to go and pull your full bio here. I am sorry. So is Jacqueline on? Maybe Jacqueline can do the intro for me. Jacqueline, are you on? You'll
Yes, I
unmute for me.
am.
Can you maybe help me on the bio, if you wouldn't mind? Just a quick intro. She's on mute. You're on mute again. All right, Deanna, I can look for the bio, or I can just let you go ahead and get going. Just start and intro yourself.
Okay, so I can go ahead and get started.
Okay.
First of all, let me say thank you to Joseph, because honestly, that is just something I have not been able to sit still and learn how to read the charts, and it amazes me. how when somebody just, I'm looking at these candlesticks and everything's just running in a blur. So thank you so much, because that information is invaluable. And I love hearing that. And I was like, yes, because I wasn't really sure what was happening with the market. But I felt like that was such a, like, I'll say in-depth overview of what's happening. So thank you. And to you, John, thank you for the opportunity to be able to share my platform. Jacqueline told me that she plugs into this particular platform. I think it's once a month.
Yes.
And she said she thought it was an amazing opportunity for us to be able to share the business that we're a part of, which is called Connect United. And with Connect United, I've been here since August of 2018. It was my first introduction into the crypto space. So we're in a blockchain space, not necessarily cryptocurrency. So my favorite product in the world is called a node. And I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about this because it was brand new to me. I worked full-time for the United States Postal Service. I worked part-time for American Airlines for like 10 years. And I was praying to replace that income from the post office. I love my job at American and the benefits, but I needed to replace that income that I was making at the post office. So when I was presented this opportunity, I got involved with an educational platform. And with that educational platform, we found out a little bit more that there was this byproduct called a node, Node, a node. And for that, I did not know what that meant, but they gave me an analogy and they said, hey, would you like to buy a gallon of milk, or would you like to own the cow that produces the milk? So for me, I understood that. I didn't need to know crypto. I just understood that analogy very, very easily. And I said, sometimes you got to, I prayed about it, and I feel like my pastor says, don't pray without anticipation of those prayers being answered. So I decided to get started and to figure it out. And long story short, it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made. Again, I've been in this company since 2018. We have about 94,000 people, and we have like a scoring ranking system, and I am ranked number 32. And that's because I feel like it rescued me. It saved me from those two jobs. And, because I made so much money at the post office, but my love was American, I couldn't give up one or the other. But the cryptocurrency space has allowed me to be able to take my 20-year out from the post office, and I retired from American. So now this is what I do full time. And I just feel like everybody in the world should have the opportunity to at least hear and be educated about the node so they can make a decision. Is that something they may be interested in? 1 second. All right, just to give you guys a little disclaimer summary, this presentation may contain forward-looking statements. No earnings claims or financial advice are going to be provided. The digital rewards are for utility purposes only. I tell everybody, do your own due diligence, do your own research. This information provided is for educational purposes only. Nodes and blockchains are governed by the Distributed Governance Framework. We call it the DGF. Again, the name of the company is Connect United. It is a community-owned platform. What that means is if you purchase the node, is software. We're not investing into anything. It's none of that. You're purchasing software. So what happens is if you own the software, you own a piece of the company. And I absolutely love that. Like, there is no middleman. It's not centralized. The people who own the node, there's a voting process. Nobody 100% controls it. It is all community driven. We make all the decisions that happens in that blockchain space.
And
Why?
Deanna, just as a note, your bio is in the chat if anybody would like to see that. It is there.
Awesome. Thank you. And why this matters, the digital world is changing seasons. The question is, will you benefit from it or be left out of it? The real problem is that you create the value, the platforms capture the upside. And what we mean by that is that's what happens in a centralized world. We don't own anything. We're the ones that support as a consumer, but we're not owning anything. And that's what I love about the blockchain space and being able to have the opportunity to own a node. my voice counts. I have a say in what happens with that blockchain. And my family, there's no guarantee that, something's going to turn into, I can't guarantee them, hey, if you do this, that node is going to do that. But I always tell them, what if? What if it gives you an opportunity from stop becoming the consumer to become the owner? It was designed this way. Current digital systems are built to reward you. They're built to extract from you. That is the old way. That's what I love about the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. The hidden cost, every click, every action, every piece of the data you generate, it benefits someone else financially and not you in our centralized world. The alternative is extraction, participation. You get to go from renting to owning. You go from being a user to a contributor. The gap is digital ownership has been out of reach because it was either too technical, too fragmented, too complicated. I absolutely love our platform because it's user friendly. It is so easy. I have people from 18 to 88 that are using this platform and doing very well with it. Our story and where we got started, what we did, why it matters, how it changed. Everybody has a story. Like I said, I have from millennials to, seasoned citizens in my organization. And to me, the blockchain space, everybody has their own story, but I always say the blockchain doesn't have a respect of person. There are people on my team that have PhDs, they're highly degreed. There are people on my team who have been through some things in life. And I currently have a team member that's incarcerated right now, and he's still running that node. And when he gets out, that node has gone up a little bit in price. It's not where we desire for it to be, but at least it's on that coin market cap. It's moving in the right direction. He used to work full time for UPS. And unfortunately, because he had gotten himself into some trouble, he no longer works there. But one of the things I shared with him is, it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter whether you went to jail. It doesn't matter whether you graduated from Yale. Our space does not have a respect of person, and you have something to look forward to. And you're able to come home to something that will allow you the opportunity to continue to move forward. Okay? We've done this before. Our very first platform was called Gala. If you look on the coin market cap, you'll see that Gala platform. It came out in, I'll say, July 2019. And from that particular Gala is put in the chat for me if you guys have ever heard of it. It is a gaming token. And that gaming token was like the #1 token for like 2 to 3 years in that blockchain space. And from that project, our very first one, there were over 50,000 people who were able to benefit financially from that platform. And even though they've had success in the past, I can't say, well, what happened in the past is guaranteed to happen in the future, because we can't make those claims. But my mindset and in my household, I was like, I think about it and say, if God did it before, he can do it again. Because in the beginning, when you do something for the first time, sometimes you learn, sometimes you earn. They hit that thing out the park with Gala. So for me, I'm just praying in anticipation that not only will we, based off the numbers, where we are right now, we have 13 different projects going outside of Gala. We only had one back then in 2021. That token went all the way up to like 83 cents. And that's documented. You can go look at it on the coin market cap. I always say fact check everything that I say. It's all right there. So we had one project that was able to have that type of success, and now we have 13. So I'm so looking forward to seeing what these projects do. They are all real world assets. Okay. What the Gala project taught us is that when people, they own something, they care more about it, and it created momentum. That's how we're at 13 projects right now. When people use something, they contribute or they engage with it, it grows faster. When it's community driven and we have that participation from the community, it actually excels the growth a lot faster. The platforms don't create value, people do. If the people don't do anything, we can have the greatest project in the world. It is community driven. It is up to the community to get the word out. Human activity fuels ecosystems. The shift is already happening. People everywhere are moving from systems that extract value from them to systems that reward them. The decentralized ownership movement is not coming, it's here. You guys are already in the space. You should be very familiar with centralized versus decentralized.
So
I,
Deanna, you may want to explain because we have all different experience levels. So some people are brand new and some people
oh, okay.
are. So you may want to give a little explanation.
Okay, awesome. So centralized means there's a boss. Somebody's controlling it. A lot of times when people are scared in the space, it's because of rug pulls and they've lost money and they put money in there. I remember back in 2021, I'll say the summer of maybe June, like 2021, I put $17,000 in a platform on a Sunday. On a Wednesday, I go to the website and it said 404 found. I was so sick. I was I was destroyed. I was like, who loses $17,000 in like 72 hours? And that could have scared me from the space. They were compounding. And it taught me something though. That's why I said earlier, sometimes you learn, sometimes you earn. That's the time that was a very expensive lesson for me too. But it taught me centralized means I did not own the crypto. I was putting it in a platform that somebody was the boss. If you do not own the crypto, you don't own the keys, you don't own the crypto. And that means you have to you have to have it in your wallet. And that's what I love about our platform. When you're mining, it goes directly to your wallet. Nobody owns it. Nobody can shut the door on me. Nobody can do that rug pull on me. A lot of people that probably would have scared them to death. And they'd have ran and be like, there's no way I'm staying in this space. I probably laid in the bed for about 3 days. I ain't gonna lie. But I got it together because that $17,000 was maybe part of a couple $100,000 that I had earned, but it still hurts. But I learned a couple things. I made the decision, I don't do business with companies outside the United States anymore. And my company is in Lehi, Utah. I've been there several times. I can put a face to a name. I know exactly. I've actually been to my CEO's house. I've been to my owner's house. I can put a face to my company. And I couldn't do that before. So I learned from that expensive lesson. I don't care for decentralized because we see Netflix movies, people have faked their death. They done ran off with the crypto. That's centralized. Somebody was controlling that. They were, not me. They were putting money into a platform that they did not own that crypto. And sometimes people don't always operate with integrity. And when those things happen, it's completely out of your control. And that's why we say do your own due diligence. And yes, it's a little scary, but at the same time, that's why you want to stay in a platform that says decentralized, which means nobody controls it. Nobody can shut that down. Nobody can take that crypto from me. If they shut down today or tomorrow, I own the crypto. It's already on the coin market cap. I could just cash it in. You guys have any questions about that before I go any further? And I apologize, John. I'm thinking they're all veterans, and
Oh no, no, we
as
got
I'm thinking
all
that
different
they're
levels.
Joseph, and Joseph done taught me some stuff this morning.
Yeah, no, Joseph is good, but everybody's not at that level
I
yet.
got it. I got it. I apologize. The World Economic Forum projects a massive global shift. There's 867 trillion that's moving from centralized. That means they're taking it from people that have been controlling it because there have been some bad decisions that have been made. And we're moving it into a more decentralized participation where people have a say. Because right now, if we're in something, if I had a job, you would have to tell me when I eat, even if I'm not hungry. I have to ask for permission to take off. I have to do whatever you say. I don't have any say whatsoever. And even especially in the post office, like sometimes the workers knew more than the supervisor. And we would always, it would be like this little inside joke. You sure you want us to do that? You absolutely positive. So then when things went wrong, it was like, but you told us to do it. It was like, you knew better. We did exactly what you said. We did what the boss says because we're in trouble if we don't. That's a centralized environment. But in a decentralized opportunity like mine, Connect United, there's a voting process. Anybody can put in a vote. You could put in a proposal. Hey, I want to propose this. It has to be the majority vote. If just say, for instance, if there's 100 people there, it depends on how many nodes you own. So just say, for instance, for every vote, it depends on if you have 10 nodes, you have 10 votes in that particular blockchain. If you have one node, you have one vote. So if I vote yes and I own 10 nodes, then it's yes 10 times. Okay. And so what happens is the only way your vote is counted is if you participate, and we encourage them, don't just buy the node and sit it and forget it. You have an opportunity to share, your concerns. So we encourage people, we leave the vote open for, let's go with 7 days, and they have the opportunity to put it in, and we go with the majority of people that voted if it went yes or no. And if it was no, then you go back and you redo that proposal if you want to, or we see how things go. But no, no one person tells us what to do here in our particular blockchains. It is community driven. The problem is decentralized ecosystems already exist, but they're not designed for the everyday people until now. Now we're making it more user friendly. We're making it where we have we call it a learn to earn platform. And what that means is when me and Jacqueline first started back in 2018, we didn't get involved with the node. We got involved with an educational platform. And we were told, the more you learn, the more you earn. And people sometimes they jump into the space. And the example that the gentleman gave us was, there are some people who cook and they cook really, really good. And then there's people who go on to become a chef. They educated themselves and they went and got their certification. And, sometimes they're on a different pay scale. It's the same thing for hairdressers. A lot of people do hair from home. Some people go on to educate themselves to open up their own salon. Same thing with master barbers. Some people they invest in that education to take it to the next level. And that's what we encourage our community to do because it's free. It is free 99. It doesn't cost you anything. Jacqueline and I paid thousands of dollars to learn what they're teaching in my company right now for free. And then they reward us for educating ourselves. We entered a BlockBot Pro. It's an automated path into the middle of the decentralized economy. Participation simplified. That BlockBot Pro is like our version of AI. We have our own ChatGPT. What's used to require countless tools, steps, and setups now takes one tool, one interface, and one automated assistant. Instead of you having to go read an FAQ, we have our own chat. Like you could just talk to it, you could type in it, whatever you want. And if you started today and was like, I don't even know what a node is, I did this because, John did it. So if I'm gonna copy a cat, I'm gonna copy the right cat. If John did it, I'm gonna do it too. And it was like, so what is this node that I done got involved in over here? Just type it in like ChatGPT, it's gonna tell you. Okay, so what should I do if I just got started? Where do you start at? Is this user friendly? Everything that ChatGPT is, we have our own platform with our FAQ that you could have no sponsor, no help, no nothing, and it will give you step-by-step instructions. It is insane. What the BlockBot does, the BlockBot connects you directly to the centralized ecosystem and it runs the participation for you. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to know how to spell a node. You don't have to spell blockchain. You don't have to know anything about cryptocurrency. It does everything for you. You just click a button. It tracks our activity. It manages our ecosystem interactions. It tracks the participation. It keeps everything running. Our nodes cost $5. So just say you own 5 nodes, then you're paying $25 a month for the overhead. That's it. It simplifies this entire experience. The real ecosystem revenue is distributed to BlockBot owners based on their participation in the network. You get the benefits without needing technical knowledge. And what that means is If you want to build a team, you can. If you do not want to build a team, you don't have to. I choose to want to build a team because in the midst of those years that I was working at the post office, I live in Atlanta, Georgia now, but I'm from the Philadelphia area. So I was in Philly driving back and forth to Delaware, and I crashed my car 3 times in 2 years. And my car insurance was higher than my mortgage. And I was so upset because I was like, oh my God, like I had a 750 Li, then I had an S550, and I had all these nice things. And then I had to downsize to something I ain't even gonna think about because it was depressing. But that was because I couldn't afford a car payment anymore because my car insurance was through the roof from falling asleep. And I was just exhausted. I could not leave that post office and go to the airport. It wouldn't complement that income. But I was able to find this space. I knew nothing. I prayed about it and I plugged in. I never miss an event I qualified to attend. I miss calls and different things like that. They got 24-hour replays because everybody's schedule is different. You don't have to be Johnny on the spot right then and there. You can watch it like my sister passed away and I've been in and out of it for I'll say like the last maybe 10 days. So I'm behind. I'm flying to LA this afternoon and I'm taking I packed my MacBook and I told the girls up front, hey, don't expect me to be doing all this stuff because I'm behind and I need to catch up. I'm gonna go to the replay and I'm gonna come forward because I don't want anybody telling me anything. I appreciate it, but I want to hear it for myself and I'm on my time, you know. So I was like, one of them days I'm just gonna go to the beach and play catch up. So I know where my money is and what's happening in that space. The ecosystem is already here. It's a decentralized network of real brands, real transactions, real participation, real global activity running across multiple industries. For example, we didn't just randomly pick something. Our first token was a gaming platform. If you guys know anything about that gaming environment, it's huge. So we were able to have a lot of success with that. So again, we picked real world assets and we have an AI platform. We see how much AI is impacting our world and how robots are taking over a lot of stuff. It's never going to replace 100% of human activity. But if you don't make that adjustment to add that AI to your life, you're going to be lost. I can't imagine it. One of the things I'm putting this course together and I changed it from artificial intelligence to I called it ancestral intelligence because that's how I feel like this thing is insane. We have agriculture, which is, that's our farming platform. We have banking. We have, like right now, I think we're on a meetup. We have a video conferencing platform. Um, we have a healthcare platform. So just say, for instance, I'll give you an example of banking. Switch, which is our banking platform, I was blessed to be able to be picked to be the president of that particular blockchain. And I remember when the COO came to me and said, hey, we want you to be the president of, our community council. That council runs the blockchain. I was like, you know everything I got going on in my life, right? Like it's kind of complicated. I don't think I'm qualified for that. And he was like, well, just think about it. We don't want to add more on your plate because I've been dealing with this situation with my sister transitioning for the last 6 months. So I'm 3 days in Philadelphia, I'm 4 days in Atlanta. And it was just a lot, and they know it. And I was like, well, I'll pray about it. Let me think about it. But I hang up from him and I called the CEO. And I said to her, I was like, are y'all trying to do the Ashton Kutcher punch stuff on me? Like, what's going on? You trying to punk me? And she was like, I didn't pick you. And I was like, who picked me? She said, don't worry about that. And she was like, we don't want to put more on your plate, but it was like unanimous, like they wanted you. And I was like, I don't think I'm qualified. And she said, God qualifies the called. And when she said that, and knowing I got a high school diploma, and this company has, like, I sit at the table with billionaires. I don't sit at the table with just normal people. No, that's not what's here. And that's another thing that I love about this platform is because that banking platform, if any of you guys have a cashback reward on a credit card, The person I was talking to was the person that invented it. She was the president of Discover Card. That was her baby. That was something that she created out of her head. And now everybody in the world has it. She's the CEO of our banking blockchain. So I'm able to work with her. And once she said that, I said to myself, wow, like I've been through a lot. I'm just a person that knew nothing, but I had a desire to change my situation. I was a person that got used to making a certain amount of money. I didn't want that to change, but I wanted something to complement it. And I wanted out of the post office because I was trading my time for money. And I just didn't want to do that. I had this vision of flying all over the world for free because that was one of my benefits from American, but yet having the financial freedom because sometimes you got time and you don't have any money. And then sometimes you got money, but you don't have any time. And I wanted both of them. So not only do I have the pleasure of getting to know her, even with our agriculture platform, if you guys have ever heard of Make America Healthy Again, if you've ever heard that slogan, um, not to get into politics or anything, I might not always be a fan of everything that happens, with administration. It doesn't matter which side it is. There's some things I agree with, there's some things that I don't. But at the end of the day, from a business standpoint, that Make America Healthy Again, our agriculture platform is shipping that food across America for Nestle and several other companies. So because I own that node, I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and the CEO of that node says, hey, we just got the BJ's and Sam's and Costco's. You should put your hat and shirt on, go in the store, pick up a piece of meat, and say, oh my God, they finally got my product in this supermarket. And I was like, I am so excited. I need to let me make sure I take a picture. Let me explain what this does. And we have a QR code on our agriculture. It's called Grow. That's the name of the blockchain. And that QR code, you'll scan it. It's an app. It's called Farm Tracer. And that Farm Tracer app will allow you to scan the QR code on that food, and it will tell you what that animal ate from the farm till it got to that particular destination in the store, or they could send it to your door. So whether it went from the farm to your fork, now you have the option of looking and seeing on that blockchain what you're putting in your body. Because a lot of times we feel like, this food is killing us. They're growing it too fast. They're putting all this stuff in it to make it produce quicker. But at the end of the day, it's causing a lot of problems. So now if I have, just say for instance, some Turkey Hill or some Purdue or just any kind of food that we've accustomed to for the duration of our lives, now it's like I have an option to buy Grow, and it's a healthier alternative. If I can see what's in that beef versus what I can't see, and it's the same price, I got a feeling a lot of people will see the value in it and want the healthier choices. If that becomes mass adoption, that is the utility that will increase the price of that token. Okay, so we're super excited about that. What's his name? Robert F. Kennedy, when he was running for president, that's one of the things he said. We need to look and have accountability. The blockchain means there's a date, there's a time, there's a stamp, and you're able to see what is happening, like where's our tax money being paid, what's in our food. We're able to literally have a ledger of every single thing that is happening. And I love that because it's less manipulation, more participation from us as a consumer instead of just having to, deal with whatever comes our way. Same thing with we have an energy platform, we're literally paying power bills with our tokens. So just depend on, if you take advantage of it, because there's always some people who they might put some money in something, but they don't see it from A to Z. And I tell them all the time, I was like, do you understand you could take that token right now and pay your power bill? We bought an NFT. They have different levels. If you want 25% of your bill paid, 50%, 75, or 100. If you bought the 100% NFT, that means up to $250 a month. You can take our token, that energy token, and pay your power bill. So it's like credit. I up to $250. Just say my bill is 240. So I send in the 240. It's called a green token. We send it into my company. They have the power bill. They're doing everything online. They're automating it actually. They're doing it right now, but they are automating it where we could do it ourselves. And then they turn around and send me back those same tokens. And then next month I do the same thing. So I'm able to get rid of a power bill. And we have that for our agriculture, our food, our banking platform has that is like, of course, I'm the president, so I'm a little biased when it comes to that one. But we have everything from gas to Starbucks to dining to travel, your cable bill, like your car insurance. You can buy an NFT, use our tokens, and submit it, some on a monthly basis, some like the travel is you can travel up to $750, buy this $750 NFT, submit the receipts, and they're going to give you back a total of 1,500. So they rewarded you for using your token on our platform. As more people get access to that information, mass adoption comes, it raises the price of the token because of the utility. More people are using it. If you go on travel and you are planning on spending some money, why not just buy a $750 NFT, submit the receipts, get the $750 back, plus another $750 to buy or have or to do whatever you want to do it with. People are not doing it because they don't know about it. That was the purpose of Jacqueline saying, Diana, do you mind sharing our platform on this opportunity that John has, once a month? And I said, absolutely, Jacqueline, even though I'm going to see the Eagles this weekend, absolutely. I'll catch a later flight and share this opportunity because I just want the world to know that this blockchain space, this crypto space where people say, oh, it's a scam, this thing changed my life. I moved from Atlanta. I moved from Philadelphia to Atlanta. I live in more house than I ever prayed for. My life is completely different. Now, with the market being so low, and I live off of crypto, I see some days, boy, I'll be over here crying up a storm because the market is so, but at the same time, I would never trade it for anything. I love that I do what I want to do when I want to do it. This is like, I'll say a picture of our infrastructure. We have electricity here on the right-hand side where it says green. We have power and energy. We host the nodes, meaning the $5 a month, we host the node. So we own that as well. I remember when I worked at the post office, I would always give money to like the YMCA and different places to write off different things. Sometimes we've seen stuff where Hurricane Katrina and stuff happened. All these natural disasters happen, and we hear that people manipulate the money. You can't now because, well, you can, but we're moving to a place where we're going to put it on the blockchain. That's what this give is. You don't have to worry about if I want to give my money to Katrina and it ends up somewhere in another place or all the money doesn't get there. No, it's tracked on the blockchain. You're able to see that your funds went exactly where you wanted it to go. Because a lot of times that's why some people don't want to participate because everybody don't operate with integrity. And we hear that some people end up spending money in places that you should not have done. Liberty is like cybersecurity. I love this because in my head, yes, it's about abundance, it's about accumulation, it's a potential life-changing opportunity, but it's not about just getting it, it's about protecting it and educating yourself. And I love that Liberty is a platform where they have a phone. My team know I plays no games with that phone and crypto. I hate it. I won't even want to talk to them when they're on the phone. I'm like, you got to be on a desktop, a laptop, or a Mac for me because you're new to it. You can barely see what it is. Get on that screen. Do the phone once you know what you're doing. But now we're coming out with a phone that I just came off of a cruise in October with my company. We'll be on a plane. We could be on a train. We could be on a boat. It has a military grade level of security. I can use my phone. I know somebody's going to say, how you use a phone in the air? Let's the flight attendant get on me. How you use the phone on this boat or are you just using their Wi-Fi? No, this is a military grade phone that I could use anywhere and it's unhackable. is what the military uses. And we are like, when we have Telegram, like Telegram got a lot of scammy stuff going on with it. We have our own version of Telegram. We have our own messenger app. We have our own VPN that is unhackable. Everything is a military level grade of security. So I'm so excited about that because I have almost 2,100 people on my team. My goal is 10,000. I want to impact 10,000 lives over the next 2 years by just sharing an opportunity like this. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I do because I know what it did for my life. I know what it has done for my children. And to me, I feel like I share because I care. There are people on my team. I started out with one node, but I have like 131 now. There are people who have never told anybody that has more nodes than I do. They'll make more money than I do because the money comes from the software. Yes, we have an affiliate side of it. It is not network marketing. We have an affiliate side of it. And if you want to share, they're going to compensate you, but it's not something that's required. Elevate is what Joseph was doing, trading. See, for me, I'm taking a shortcut because I can't get with the indicators. It does something to me. I think I'm OCD. I can't sit there that long. So Elevate trades for me. I just buy the node, set it, forget it, get the coins 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I have no idea what those charts say. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing because I understand the value because of what Joseph knows. I don't know when to sell. I don't know when to hold. But Joseph would know, oh, well, hold on, because this looks like it's about to go down or this looks like it's about to go up. He has a better advantage of making more money than I do because he understands the charts. But I am building a community where I pray that all of them tell me stuff because they know my gift is this blockchain. You better tell me or else. No, I'm just kidding. But I'd be like, okay, so what if I didn't tell y'all what was happening here? I sit at a table with our owners. I know what's happening. I know what's going on. Could you imagine if I didn't tell you? So I try to create that environment where I'm like, please, if you know something, say something. And a lot of people do exactly what Joseph was doing. They share information. They tell us, hey, did you see this or did you see that? Or, like Bitcoin is doing this, Bitcoin is doing that. They share a lot. And then we watch a lot of, I watch a lot of videos and different things like that. And if they see something, they say something and we drop it in our communications page. Gala was the first project I told you about. This one right here is called Galvin. Galvin is our healthcare platform, and I bet the farm on this one for my team. To get into my company is anywhere from a minimum of 2,500 up to 9,400. That is a lot of money, especially in this economy. So what I did was I came up with, I'll say a hack. I came up with a hack and I showed them, I said, listen, let's buy this token right here. If you buy the token for like $500, maybe 575, you're going to get about 2 million tokens. Just hold it until it hits 5 cents. Then you come back and buy like maybe $65,000 worth of software. It's going to give you 8 different streams of income. Those 8 streams of income are going to give you rewards 7 days a week, 365 days a year for the rest of your life. We got to get to that place in life where we understand it is assets over liabilities. We love to buy cars. We love to go on vacation. We love to do all of that. But in this economy, with AI doing so much, you don't know what's going to happen. So you have to learn to make the necessary adjustments to know that you're going to need a plan B. You got to figure out, what's something that you could do. So this was something that my whole team, I'm so looking forward to it. If we pull this off, I'll have over 1,000 people that made between 6 and 7 figures. That is not normal. And that's something that I wanted my team to go from the minority in the company to the majority of the company. I know we love all races, but in my company, there's 94,000 people, but there's less than like my whole team is not African American. It is a diverse team, but we still have less than 2,000 African Americans in the space. And it's important to me, I feel like, to take on that challenge because, they just need to know, is it real? What did it do for you? How much money have you put in here and how much have you made? And that is what I tell and I pride myself on with the team. I'm like, I am so glad you asked. How many people can say I'm part of an organization where over 1,000, almost 2,000 people, the only people that didn't make money over here was the people that didn't plug in, and we can't control that. Okay. How our value flows, the revenue is generated with real world products and services. It powers our network. We, as the owners, we own the node, so we benefit from the fees and different things that are accumulated here. And as the token price goes up, we're the ones being rewarded, not the middleman. The BlockBot AI decentralizes intelligence. It automates and optimizes activities. It distributes everything. Connect is directly in the heart of it, which is our company. They take on the responsibility of, they hired the DGF, which is a third-party company, to distribute the rewards. And as this evolved, we have this AI situation. It becomes intelligent. The more we use it, the more, I don't know how you guys are, but there's not a day since I've been introduced to AI that I'm not using Claude. I'm not on Perplexity. I am doing something every day. So proud of what I didn't know yesterday that I've learned today. Every day is about being better today than what I was yesterday. Why participation matters? Because we have to get the word out. Communities, this is community driven. So the more people in our community, the more awareness becomes, it's more mass adoption. Switch is our banking platform that I told you guys about a little earlier. It's no different from Bank of America. Everything you do in the regular banking world, we do in our Switch platform. Our link is our video conferencing platform. Green, the energy platform I told you about, that's the Power Pay program that pays your power bill. Grow is our agriculture program. Who this is for? People who want simplicity. Just like, it's not complicated. People who like automation, people who like to be part of a community, and you don't have to have technical skills. It's a proven infrastructure. People lie, I always say, but the numbers don't. We're in over 175 countries. We've distributed over 560 billion tokens. Our infrastructure is 24/7, and we've already done 1 million plus confirmations have been and transactions have been processed. And the importance of transactions are the more transactions that are made, the more revenue that will be generated to the people who own the nodes. The timing window, I always say, is now. People sometimes run from the market. They'll be like, oh, I put $500 in, it's a scam because now it's 99. But that's because of the volatility in the market. But honestly, if they thought about it from a business standpoint, you want to buy things at a low price. And if you're the owner, you want to sell it at a higher price so that you make a profit. The decision point is, we always say keep renting, which is buying crypto, or learn about the node process and become an owner. Our BlockBot Pro is everything you need to do to participate. All the rewarding is done for you. And that BlockBot Pro is just our system. It talks a little bit about that, what you get for our system. But I want to leave enough time for Q&A. There's an invitation. We'd love if you want more information. Everybody says I talk fast. If I said something that confused you, or if you want me to expand on anything, we'd love to have a conversation outside of here. If you put your email in the chat, Jacqueline's here, she can get back to you. But if you have a question for me now, I have a few minutes left to give you some time to ask some questions, or if you'd like me to clarify anything, I'm here for it.
So I guess I'll start out the questions on this, I guess two, you talked about kind of this getting an NFT, buying an NFT, and getting it back and getting the money back and using some. Maybe you can explain that a little more. I wasn't exactly sure how that worked. And then the other part was, overall for owning a node, just so people have an idea, versus let's just say that you bought some crypto, you bought, some digital assets. Owning a node, what has like the average return been over, like, let's say in the last 2, 3, 5 years, something like that, comparatively speaking. So maybe those questions.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing for 1 second and I'm gonna answer the question about the NFT first. And then I am a firm believer. I was like, people lie, but numbers don't. So I'm gonna show you mine. So when I talked about the NFT, just say for instance, if what the offer that me and Jacqueline want to present to you guys today, you can get a free account. It doesn't cost you anything. If you decide to open up the wallet, and we take you through that process, we're going to give you 5,000 free tokens. Don't cost you nothing. Okay, we just want that wallet open. We want the wallet open because that's something that we need to do that we're working on getting on Binance. Binance wants us to have a particular amount of wallets open. So we want to present it to as many people as we can. And again, if that's something that you want to do, you can either get back to John or put it in the chat and Jacqueline can share her information with you. But when it comes to that NFT, just say you be like, well, hold on, because I got to travel next year. And that ticket cost me 400 some dollars. Don't go buy the ticket. Get with Jacqueline and buy the NFT. So when you buy the NFT, now when you go and travel, you submit that receipt into it's going to give you all the information. Send it here. They're going to reimburse you. You can do that up to $750. That happens once a year. Travel is once a year. But let's just say dining. I can buy $100 dining NFT, right? And then I could go out to dinner and go do this, that, and the other, submit that $100. They're going to reward me for using that NFT, and they're going to give me back $200. I got the $100 back, plus they rewarded me an extra 100. They want us to use, we have a debit card. Okay, we got a debit card. We need all the transactions on that debit card. The more transactions that are coming to the debit card, the more lucrative that will push that token. So they're literally rewarding you for using our debit card. So it's two things you're gonna need. The debit card is like $250, and you want that anyway because you can spend it. It's no different from my Navy Fed card. It's no different if you have Bank of America, Wells Fargo. It's a bank. It offers a checking account, a savings account, if you want a business account. Like I have a black card. It's no different from what happens in the regular world. But somebody like me that doesn't have a pay stub, now I can use my crypto is what can get me that black card. It's not going off of my social security. I'm completely living off the grid. So if you set up that free account, Jacqueline can log you in there and you'll be able to get the free tokens. She can show you the NFTs. They'll probably be available closer towards the end of the month, but I don't have cable. I stream, right? I cut that cable bill. I thought it was unnecessary. I'm going back and get the cable bill because if I buy a $250 NFT for my cable, they're going to give me $400. So now I want cable. Where I wanted to cut that expense, I want it now because now I got an extra $150 in their token that I can use for something else. So I can cut with our ecosystem, I could cut my food bill, I can cut my power bill. Like if you're a Starbucks person, I like Starbucks, but I ain't like big on Starbucks. Like some people like it's part of their daily life. No, but I do like Starbucks. But I'll go there and I can give that out for Christmas and say, give me that receipt back. And I can give them a constant gift of giving because they're going to reward me for that. So these are how our rewards come every day. These are our different blockchains. Each one is a separate stream of income. They're individually owned. They have their own communities. If God forbid something happened to Revo, it does not affect Raleigh, so on and so forth. And the rewards come 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And just to show you real quick, I think I got 6 minutes, right, John?
Yeah, but I'll let other people ask questions too. I'm sure they might have them, and this is a really great session. So you're fine.
Okay, so let's use Rally as an example. It says I got 3 nodes and I get 4,331 rewards a day, right? Everything is numbers. So if I'm getting, calculator. I knew that was gonna happen. Hold on one second. All right, so if I'm getting 4,331 rewards a day, I have 3 of them, so I got to divide that by 3. That means each machine that I have is generating 1,443 rewards a day. There's 30 days in a month. So on a monthly basis, I get for one machine 43,310 cents. Right now, it's less than a penny. Trash. Terrible. So when people look at that, that's called sight to me. You got to have some vision. You got to know what does the blockchain do. And because this is Rally and it's a video conferencing platform, we know that because I show up at the calls, I learn this. Over 300,000 people are using Zoom on a daily basis. Zoom is recorded whether you record it or not. So Rally went to the White House and said, hey, did you read the fine print? Because all that Secret Service stuff that you're talking is recorded somewhere in Zoom's platform. But we are on the blockchain. Nobody records you. All your little Secret Service stuff can really be Secret Service. And they said, well, I didn't know that. Yeah, do your due diligence. Read that fine print. Sometimes we do stuff and we don't read it. So now that the administration has decided they want to use our platform, Tony Robbins decided he wants to use our platform. We have a lot of people that are now seeing the value of it because we reward you. I pay for my Zoom. They're going to pay you to be on there 10 minutes or longer. You're going to get free tokens. So instead of me paying a bill, I can get some free tokens that could potentially, like right now, there's nothing that's guaranteed, but I like to play the what if. If I'm getting 43,000 tokens a month, I like the calculator. And I'm like, well, what if that went to 5 cents? There's an extra $2,000 a month. So I see the value in it, so I bought 3. If the administration see the value in it, I see the value in it. Because now I know everybody's about to use it. And could you imagine if you had some stake or stock in Zoom? If you own a Rally node, you own a portion of that blockchain. So now I'm like, okay, well, I like that little nickel, but what if I was getting 43,000 coins a month and I plug in and I hear them talk of all the places and people who are using it, and that thing went to 15 cents. That's paying some monthly bills. This node is very expensive. It is $7,300. Everybody's not able to do that. But the hack that I gave my team and that we want to extend to you guys, take 575, buy the token. It's going to get you 2 million tokens. Jacqueline will walk you through all of those things, right? You got 2 million tokens. Soon as that token hits a nickel, you got $100,000. We're going to show you which ones to buy because Miss Diana has a seat at that table, so I know. It's going to cost you $65,000. You got 8 streams of income. 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and you got $35,000 left out of a $500 seed money, because we don't say investments. Okay? So when I tell you it, can you imagine, like, just say for instance, if that 4,300, because that's what one would get you because you're going to get that Rally node. Just say for instance, if it hit 10 cents. That's 4,300, but guess what? This one is even bigger. It's right here. Because I have every node, right? And this is the money that these tells you how many coins that I have gotten and what the value of my platform is today. It'll tell you this is how many coins it is. Okay, click on USD. And this one right here, everything is less than a penny except for this one. Jacqueline, I ain't look at it today, but the last time I checked, it was 5 cents. Do you know what Elevate is? Because this one's 5 cents. And that's because it's our trading platform. So it's trading. So it has so many transactions and it's constantly moving, moving, moving. People see the value in it. It's higher than everything else, but everything else coming. The only thing I don't know is what day, what time, what hour. But trust me when I tell you, I have a lot of people that their lives are going to completely change. And I read something that said, if a household had an extra $500, it could avoid them from bankruptcy. It could save marriages. I just had a kid that graduated from FAMU. I cried a river getting that boy through school because I live off of crypto. And it wasn't easy. This market is just, it wasn't volatile. It was torturing Diana, but we were able to do that. And I so thank God that this platform allowed my son to walk out of there with no loans. I cried a river, but we have no loans and he has graduated from FAM. I'm so proud of him, and I'm excited. But I went from 2 jobs to killing myself, falling asleep. Thank God I'm still here because one of my coworkers that lived 10 minutes from me, he went up underneath a truck. He was a husband. He had 3 girls that was less than 10 years old. And he ended up like cracking his neck and he died. So I used to be so scared driving home because of falling asleep. I slid on ice. One time I fell asleep. One time I slid on some ice, but at the end of the day, I can literally lay in my bed and watch Netflix for the rest of my life because of these nodes. Only thing I got to do is just wait for the price to go up. That's it. So any other questions?
Yeah, let's open it up here. Other people have questions. Anybody want to ask? I'm sure there's a lot of different aspects here that you guys might want to understand a little better.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this. So I'm just going to jump to my question real quick. Are you saying that for each of these projects, like on the right hand side, total smart, okay, Rev, Rally, Win, all these different projects, are you saying that we can invest in each and every one of them, depending on what we have, how much dry power that we have?
Let's not say invest. Let's say, because invest is a bad word. That'll get us in trouble. Let's say you have the opportunity to purchase software. You have the opportunity to join our community. We want you to, like, I'm gonna tell y'all, let's see, Elevate is like let's use Grow. I told you guys what Grow was, right? Grow is given 3,035 coins a day. Yes, that Grow node, I'm gonna show y'all the prices too. They're expensive. So you can buy it straight out if you want it. This is our company node, which is 2,500. That gets you the AI platform. It gives you all the education for free when you purchase that for 2,500. Those are all the NFTs I talked about. But the rally I showed you, the video conferencing, that's 7,300. Grow, the agriculture is 6,500. The foundations, this hasn't started yet. We do have a $500 node, but it just hasn't started yet. But that's going to be phenomenal. Codex is where we host the nodes, where you pay $5 a month. That is you have to ask yourself, what would these blockchains do? The Codex is what hosts it. So if you decide, and where do I put my money? You definitely want to consider that because we can't run the nodes without hosting it. So the more nodes we have hosted, the higher the price of the token is going to go. So Codex is 2,500, Elevate is 2,800. That's our trading. That's my cheat to Joseph. Joseph over there trading. I'm over here cheating. I bought that node for 2,800. This switch says 4,000 it's only on sale for a couple more weeks, but it's $9,400 if you get it before the end of the year. That's our banking platform. Galvin is $5,000 for that node. That's where I'm putting my team at. So instead of paying $5,000 for the node right now, because the node means you own the cow. That is the goal. But because it's going to happen soon, I want y'all to buy the gallon of milk. Buy the gallon of milk so we can go buy 8 cows versus 1 cow for $5,000. I hope I didn't confuse y'all when I just said that. Did y'all catch that?
That makes sense to folks?
Okay, Dr. Eagle says yes. I always want you to buy the node. The node means passive. The node means residual. That's the end game. We always begin with the end in mind. But because this is going to happen so quick, I don't want my team to do that. Spend the 575 and go get 8 of them versus 1. Because you can't pick a one. It'd be so hard for me to say, where would you put your money? Because all of them, 4 of them, you can potentially, it's not guaranteed, you're going to come out of there with $4,000 to $5,000 a month and you spent $575. That is not happening in my company. That is happening in my community because I completely understood crypto before the node. So I was able to come up with a hack because I know our people, I understand like that money is funny like that. If you want the element node, this is all about gold and silver. So if you guys, I used to invest in gold and silver. Now I own the node and get rewards every day. I used to have gold and silver coming to my house once a month. Now it comes every day. Give is the charity platform for 2,600. Liberties our cybersecurity for 3,700. And green is our electricity node. This node right here is 5,700 and it only gives you 100 rewards a day. 30 days, you're only going to get 3,000. A lot of people in my company be like, I ain't doing that because I could have got 100,000 in some of them. But it's not about how many tokens you get. It is what does the node do? This is electricity. We're going to change the way those wires, those poles, all of that is like, that is like so with, what do we say? Like, with the weather taking a toll on it and different things like that. That's so outdated. We're about to put the electricity on the blockchain. We're working with over 10,000 electricity companies right now. We're in the beta test. So once we get through the bugs, we're going to present that to the world. We own the node. So where I tell my team, don't you look at those 3,000 and sleep on that coins a day because some of them give you 100,000. Everybody, we're already providing electricity to places that never had electricity before in our beta test. And if there's no electricity, there was no water. So we have completely changed life. Now we're just looking to get it out there for mass adoption. So yes, you can buy all of them, but if you want to buy it, we're never going to say no. But I'm a strategist. I don't want you spending thousands of dollars when if you buy a Raleigh node right now, you're going to get 1,400 coins a day. Just say in the next 60 days, you might end up with 8,400 coins if Raleigh does well. Let's say they had a great start. Oh my God, you made $12,000. You only spent 7,300. But how about what I told you was $575, but you got 8 nodes and you got the Raleigh node in there along with this Elevate that you see that's already at 5 cents. The Elevate alone is enough for you to get it. Like just say for instance, Elevate is giving, I got 4 of them and I get 12,813. 12,813 divided by 4. So if you get one, you're getting 3,200 coins a day in a month's time. That's 9,600 rewards you get. It's already at a nickel.
Okay, so that means it depends on me to now do my research and choose which of the notes I want to buy. But you ideally advise I go for Raleigh. Is that what you're saying?
No, I would say call Jacqueline and tell her to hook you up with the 575 and let her buy all of them. Buy the one that she tells you to buy and wait till it hits a nickel. And then go buy everything that we tell you to buy and you got them all.
Okay, okay, because I was hoping I could do my research on all of this because I'm seeing a lot of projects here. I would love to do my research on all of them. And I just try to go to these websites that I'm seeing here in your search bar. But I'm being told that I need an invitation from an existing Connect community member, and
You
I'm
have
being
to,
redirected to Discord.
Jacqueline is going to get off that thing, Akon Williams. Cut it out. You can't join my company without joining a person. But if you want some information, go to my website. I'm not being disrespectful to my company or anything. It's just that we try to make it simple. We put it all in one spot. Go to my website and look. I promise you, my website has more information than what you're going to find because the way that our accounts are set up, it's under this. This is our FAQ. It's like our own AI. So you're not going to get what you could have got from other companies unless you have a free account. So Jacqueline will give you a link, but talk to Jacqueline and John because John, just for extending us the opportunity, my company going to give you some nodes if you set up the wallet, but I'll give you some too because I think that you got a phenomenal community going on. And just for serving, it's not a lot of people in our space that serves on a monthly basis. I don't serve on a monthly basis. I just, you know what I'm saying? I don't do that. I talk to them. This is not, it's like a set it and forget it. When my company talks, I have a meeting that same night and was like, what they said was, let me clarify this. Make sure you got that. You know what I'm saying? I clarify everything they said in case it went over their head and make sure they understood so we maximize it.
Yeah, thank you.
So I want to extend to you from my personal wallet just for allowing us the opportunity to share on your platform.
Thank you so
So
much.
if John gets it, John, you get with Jacqueline, and then we can give Akon, I hope I said your name right, Mr. Williams, and then John can give you a free account off of his because it is his community, and we definitely try to operate with integrity.
No, no, thank you. Yes, I will do all that. I just needed to be able to, I wanted to do research on the project. That's just why I asked. That's why I followed the link. It's not like I'm trying to be too forward or break any protocols. No, I
No, no,
can
no, no, no.
understand.
In order to get what you want, you got to get the account because anything you want to know, type it in here. Type it in the account. It's gonna say, well, how long you been around? Like who's on it? Anything you want to know, it's like AI. Just type it here. And that way you can do your research. You can do it online, but if you really want to know what this company is, here's your FAQ right here. But you got to have the account to get into it.
Are
Any
there
other
more
questions? Because I
questions?
don't want to go over my time and get kicked out and John don't let me never come back.
You know, actually, this
I
is
do
really
have
good. I'm
I
probably
do have
gonna
a
just
question.
hold on the other stuff. So go ahead. What was the next question there? Someone asking?
So I do have a question. And
Mhm.
Diana, thanks for the presentation. I missed some of it, so this may be come across as a dumb question, but just indulge me. So, looking at the dashboard you shared, so you had, like the different companies or projects on the right-hand side, and then you had maybe like a portfolio balance. Yeah, or
Yeah.
portfolio value.
Yes.
So in terms, if I think of, I want to liken it to maybe shares and crypto, where you have a portfolio balance, and depending on what you're invested in, you can decide to take, like a 10% profit on, on a particular asset. Is it the
Mhm.
same?
Absolutely. Jacqueline put that in the chat. Like all of these are different. This
Okay.
has its own website. This one has its own website. They're independent companies that have come. Let me give y'all some background. Like Hyper, right? Hyper is a company where just say Revo is like a rideshare platform, like Uber and Lyft.
Mm.
We know what that is. When I caught an Uber yesterday. So when I caught the Uber, I only know how much I'm paying the Uber, right? I don't know what the driver makes. I don't know what the company makes. But because this is on the blockchain,
Hmm.
there's going to be full transparency. We're going to see what the company got. We're going to know what Revo got. We're going to know what the driver made, and we're going to know what the customer made. And because we can see the data that they're doing, Uber and Lyft and them are doing like 25 million rides a day. My company said, what if we charge $1? We ain't trying to shut nothing down. We just want a piece of the marketplace. What if we did 10 million rides a day and charged $1? Anybody be upset that this company making $10 million a day? Uber gonna give up some of that money. And the reason why we say that is because we decided we're going to incentivize the drivers to come to Webbo. We're gonna pay them more charge the customer less, and we're going to incentivize the customer to tell other customers, we're going to give you some rides for free. We're going to incentivize the drivers because we need to get mass adoption. Uber didn't start out in the beginning, the Uber that we know today. You know what I mean? So, and as the mass adoption comes and more people get involved in it, that pushes up the price of the token. So for me, owning two of those Rebos, so can you imagine just owning just a slither of Uber and your family's eating off of that for the rest of their life? And how do you say your name, Dr. Obi?
Ego. It's Ego.
Dr. Ego. Okay, so Dr. Ego, it wouldn't be me if I didn't say it. You
Okay.
said you started this out and said, I know this is going to be a dumb question. Boy, I'll be fussing at the people on my team.
Yeah,
I be
no,
fussing at them all the time. And
yeah.
I'll be fussing at them because I used to explain to them I didn't know anything. And unfortunately, I got left out of the token, that the gala token. I got one of the biggest teams in this company, and I unfortunately got left out of that situation. So that thing cut me deep.
Mm.
And I said, oh, that ain't gonna happen again. So because my team is so big and I just made sure that my productivity was there. So whenever you open a door, my rank is gonna get me in that door. So that was a decision that I made. So now you can't have a conversation without me being present with my ranking in this company. So when I get in the room, I'm in there with all these people who made millions of dollars, and I didn't understand. Sometimes the money filled in some gaps for people. Oh, this is what happened. I didn't have that experience because you didn't afford me that. You said, I only gave it to friends and family, Diana. I didn't know it was going to blow up like that. I don't care about your friends and family. My team should have been included in that. So now that's when I took on my little Harriet Tubman of the blockchain. I'm going to make sure everybody who listens eats off of this one from now on. And we're going to go from the minority to the majority. So when you say, I know this is a dumb question, but entertainment,
No,
I,
no,
I
just to
explained to you
correct, I did say it may sound like a
that
dumb
but
question
don't.
because I wasn't there at the beginning. So,
No, it don't even matter. I used to
okay,
have to put my
perfect.
hands up, right? When they were teaching in the beginning, and I tell them they was doing this noise to me. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, she got her hand up again. Oh my God. Can we move on? I was like, I
No,
came for something and we not
I'm getting it.
leaving until I get it. You got
Mm.
it? I'm gonna
Okay.
ask as many questions as I want. I just took on that little thing, right? And I'll be telling the team, I was like, so I tell y'all people lie, but the numbers don't. And I was like, so I'll be like, where those people at? I don't know, but I can tell you that Miss Diana is documented at number 32 out of 94,000 people. So I always say there is no dumb questions. I get mad when they don't ask questions because if you don't ask me questions, I'm gonna start asking you questions. Now I done exposed you because you don't know, but you sat there and you didn't say anything. And I'm like, please, please, because some of you guys are in a space. If you do something wrong, that money going to cyberspace. Ask questions. This is the love of my life. Like this has allowed me opportunities I probably would have never had. And like I said, I live in more house than what I ever prayed for. And I thought when I moved to Atlanta, this was my forever home. But I only had one node because I didn't know what I was doing. That one went to 131. And then I tell them, I was like, I know we're not supposed to say whatever happened to Gala is going to happen to us in the future other blockchains, but that same room I sit in says, look at the data. This is where these are the transactions that Gala has. Rally alone has tripled what Gala had in the 3 years that Gala been here. Our tech is 10 times bigger because we use Gala as the incubator. Like that's where it all started. We got the data from Gala, so we were able to scale these. So no, I cannot come on here and tell you, I guarantee you, but I'm a believer. I'm a believer. And these people at the table, like if you go to like Element, if you were to go to the Discovery Channel and look up Jungle Gold. The person's name is it's a series about these gentlemen mining gold in Africa. That's our CEO. His name is Scott Lamo, and he has the #1 running show on the Discovery Channel. That's our CEO. And like I told you guys about banking, the young lady who was the president of Discover that everybody in the world has a cashback option, she created it. You know, this hyper team, Steve Jobs was the innovator, but the creator's name was Tom Karen. That is his team that built out our entire ecosystem. So even sometimes when I'm having a moment because it ain't happened yesterday and I want it to, and I'm sick of the market going up and down all the time, I got to humble myself and say, you know, like if it didn't happen, it wasn't supposed to yet. But I got a feeling anytime after the 13th of this month, like we have some big project going on, I got a feeling after that, that thing is about to start to move. So don't say ever, oh, Diana, this might be a dumb question. No, there is no dumb question. And I tell this team all the time, if y'all don't ask me some questions, I'll be screaming and hollering to the top of my lungs because I just want them to eat off the platform. And I can't wait for it to bless them the way that it has done me. Honorable Chief Prince Dr. Wilton George McDonald II.
Yeah, hi, Diana. I just wanted to just to understand how do you generate your returns and what's the underlying investments? I take that you're a platform that enable different companies to to operate and to plug into your platform. But where is this? Are you deriving your value, your token value based on the underlying values of those companies? I just missed that part. I joined late, but I just missed that part where it talks about the value. How is your token valued? Where does it derive your value?
It's the products and services that it offers. So just say, for instance, Switch. Switch has a debit card. All of our fees are cheaper than everybody else, and it's user-friendly. We're the only crypto company that got a concierge. You can't call nobody in crypto. You can call our company. And I'm extremely happy with that because sometimes you just need a customer service rep. We offer that. So we also, all the NFTs, like we have an NFT for the travel. I don't know, did you hear me talk about that? Is some are yearly, some are semi-annually, some are monthly, some are quarterly. But we have a travel voucher that you can buy for $750. You can submit it up until whatever you want to, all the way up to $750. So once you submit that $750, they're going to reimburse you. It's called Switch. It's a Switch token. They're going to reimburse you the $750 in that Switch token and give you an additional $750. So just say, for instance, everybody knows they're going to go on vacation or they was going to do something. I'm like, buy the voucher. Buy the voucher, submit the receipt, and get the bonus tokens. The more people that do that, it will push the price of the token. They have the same thing for car insurance. If I'm gonna pay my car, you can't get around it. If I'm gonna pay my car insurance anyway, I might as well buy the NFT. They pay up to $250 in your car insurance, but they're gonna reimburse you $350 in that token. So the price of the token and the liquidity goes up from products and services that the company offers. The more products and services that are adopted, the higher the price of the token. And we picked everyday stuff like dining, cable, who's not putting gas in their car? You can buy like $50. That's something you can do on a monthly basis. Like that's not quarterly or yearly. Travel is yearly. Car insurance is monthly. Gas is monthly. Starbucks, people love Starbucks. Streaming is monthly. So the more people that we push to our company to buy the NFT, the more transactions are happening, the higher the price of the token. So everything with my company is products and services. Bitcoin is Bitcoin, you know, that's our mother token, but we're pushing our tokens to be built off of products and services. Like this one is called Galvin. Just say you go to the gym. Like Jacqueline is a gym rat. So she working out every day. Instead of her just going to the gym or working out, she might as well buy a gym NFT because it costs, they got one for 150, 500, and $1,000. Even if she buys the 150, they're going to give her back $300. They're rewarding her for living a healthier lifestyle. And me, like, I like to use a lot of natural supplements. I stay on TikTok buying some stuff. I like all these little gummies and goldy stuff I be buying. I can buy the NFT and they submit the receipt and they give me up to $200 back plus an additional 100. So I can now get reimbursed for what I was already doing anyway. It's insane, like the stuff that they do, but that pushes the price of the token. It is completely life-changing. Same thing with the power bill. If we told you green, you can say, hey, I want to buy that NFT. It's $1,000. You buy the $1,000 NFT. It's good for 24 months, 2 years, up to $250. You can submit those receipts. They pay 100% of that bill. 2 years. That's insane. So if more people do it, the only reason you wouldn't do it is if, like I said to my team, stop giving out Christmas gifts and give out some NFTs. Change the way people think, right? And if you want to go to Starbucks anyway, let us pay for your Starbucks. Like, if you give me the receipt, if you don't want to do it, no problem. Give me the receipt. I'm gonna give you your money back. So I teach the team, just say Dr. Echo, right? You go to Starbucks, you be like, Diana, I ain't fooling with your products, your NFTs. I'm not doing nothing. I was like, well, can I have that receipt and I'll just at least pay for your coffee? Can you give me every Starbucks receipt that you got and I give you your money back on a daily basis? Every day I'm Cash Apping you, Zelle, whatever you want, right? I asked the team, why would I do that? They didn't know. And I said, now that's the difference between you and me. I'm going to give you that money back because I gave you the money, but the company gave me the crypto. So I might have gave you $25, but they're going to give me like 50 to 75. So it behooves me to continue to use it, whether it's you or not, because they're rewarding me for doing it. So it's like the more people using it, the higher the mass adoption, the higher the price of the token. And that's what it's all about, getting people to use our products and services. And that is where we go back to community driven. If the community don't tell people about these NFTs, that's what I be telling the team, stop giving them, you can buy an Amazon card from us. Amazon is one of our gift cards that we use because we know people love Amazon. All right, buy it from us. We're going to give you a higher amount. You was going to buy it anyway. We just trying to get the transactions so Binance can see us, pick us up. We get more eyes on it. Boom, that thing goes to the roof.
Other questions people have? I do have a couple more that I'll ask at the end here. And instead of doing the presentation that I was going to do, I'm going to share that on Patreon. So I'll put the link up so everybody can join on a Telegram group where you can have more. We continue the discussion on Telegram chat. So we do have a Telegram group for this meetup. And then we'll also include it on the meetup on the event site so you can be able to see the details to join there. And then on Patreon, I'll share the slides I was going to share. I was going to ask a couple other questions. Do you need, I'm assuming everything you're hosting, is that on the cloud, or do you need to have like a powerful computer that you dedicate for this, Deanna?
No, see this right here? Oh, it didn't start yet. It's called Codex. Codex didn't start yet, but it's like I have 2 of them. That's when you see this little hazard sign, that means something's wrong. It's not something's wrong, but that blockchain hasn't started yet. But no, you don't need a computer. We have our own hosting. It's called Block Fabric. And this is Codex. So you just come here. When I tell you everything user friendly, you're going to set up an account and you're going to click add instance. And whatever node that you pick, just say you guys did the 575 and you decide to get 8 nodes, they're called smart nodes. You're going to come to the node network. You pick whichever one it was. Just say you decided to get Elevate. And how many did you get? You got one. You proceed to the checkout. You pay, the node is on. This thing's so user-friendly, it makes no sense. You need no technical skills, and it costs you $5 a node. I have 131. The more nodes you get, I'm not paying, because I have so many, I get like mine for like $2. But they're normally it would cost me $655 a month to run my nodes. That's my overhead. I don't need a building, I don't need a supercomputer. I just host it on we call it Block Fabric, but the blockchain is called Codex. And it's going to, that's a node that I have two of right now. That is going to be, to me, a very lucrative node too, because each one of our blockchains has 100,000 nodes. That's our max supply, is 100,000 nodes. So could you imagine, like right now, we got 13. So look how many nodes that blockchain will be hosting. That is a very lucrative node. We can't run the nodes without it. So that's something when I say, when you're looking into it, that's why I want the team to have all of them. And I'm going to show you this one right here. And that's the last one. This foundations is $500, right? It didn't start yet, but just say I have 22. I'm going to show y'all how this math works, especially when you're in the beginning, because you guys will have the opportunity to get it. It's $500. Any time in the first year, so you guys understand the tokenomics, that means max supply. It'll never have more than 50 billion with a B, 50 billion rewards. And we do something called a halving, which means if it started on December the 7th, 1 year from now, December 7th of 2026, in that first year, they're going to give out like half of that supply. So out of the 50 billion, 25 billion are going to be dispersed that first year. So people who get in on that first year, because I have everyone, I've been here from day one, you average about 3,000 coins a day, right? So just say I have 22 of them. I'm averaging, when it starts, it hasn't started yet, about 66,000 coins a day. There's 30 days in a month. Add a nickel. I'm almost at 100 grand a month, and I'm home watching Netflix. So I don't have to worry about who's in administration. I don't have to worry about AI taking my job. I don't have to do anything. My job is to tell somebody. And if I tell somebody, and I hope that they tell somebody, because it could change your life, the value of my token continues to go up. And I said a nickel, that thing will not be a nickel. Foundations is the hub of everything that we do. That will never be a nickel. But I'm just saying, and the funny thing is, I didn't buy not one of them. They were free. Different things you do, they'll say, hey, if you do this, we'll give you that. And I was able to get 22 of them. I ain't paid for a dime, and I'm already almost at six figures.
And the other thing I was going to ask you, Deanna, is we got people obviously from all over the world, so from, all over the US, Caribbean, Africa, UK. Can people access this from anywhere? Are there any restrictions like geographically to where people can access it?
No, they could be anywhere. We're in 175 different countries. And if you're in some place that we want to open it up. This thing is global. And that would be amazing if you guys did see the value of it, because you have to look at it from a business standpoint, right? Just say somebody's in Istanbul, right? Nobody knows about it. You get the opportunity to present it. Like for me, I did not. I probably told about 200 people, but I got 2,065 people on my team. And that's because Jacqueline told some people, like Jacqueline. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting you, John. Jacqueline asked me, would I do the presentation? And I said, yes, and so now we can present it to you. And if somebody sees the value of it, I live in Atlanta, Jacqueline lives in Tampa. You know what I'm saying? We got people all over the world, but we want to even expand it even more, because just say me, for instance, my vision from day one was fly all over the world. And, like I want everybody to know what a node is, because I remember when I couldn't pay those bills. I remember when, those 2 jobs was just wearing me out. And it's no pressure, and you get options. The node provides you options because you don't get paid on the first. You don't get paid on Fridays. The token is low. Like, I'm honest, it's trash right now. Like, you don't really want to spend the tokens unless you have to. I'm kicking and screaming every time I gotta spend a token. I want to hold it. I want to hold it because I know they're going to go higher. Like I can tell the team, and I'll tell them when is my company's token. If you pay attention to my legend, I got 61 of them. I promise I ain't buy more than 1 or 2. I win everything. I win everything and I get everything because I'm very incentive driven. And I got this thing about me that, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to take all y'all notes. Like, I'm going to do whatever needs to be done. And I'm going to meet every challenge because I sometimes be having my little PTSD about you not telling me about that gala node. So I'm like, I'm spending no money and I'm taking all y'all notes. That gala node, it went to 83 cents Black Friday of 2021. And as of July 2023, every node had cleared over $1 million. And that was in 2 years. It's still running. They're going to have that node for the rest of their life. But in the first 2 years, they cleared over $1 million. So when they sit and, and they say, oh, we're 10 times quicker, we're doing this, we're doing that. If you mention Gala and at that table, they're laughing like it's a joke. And I'm looking at them like, I'm still hot about it. But it's like, don't talk about Gala to what this is. This is complete. This is on some next level stuff. So if it took 2 years for Gala to clear $1 million, so just say Jacqueline had 10 nodes, she cleared $10 million. She could have got out of jail yesterday. She owned 10 nodes and she cleared $10 million because it was the node that cleared it. She don't have to refer anybody. She didn't do anything. She had the software. Now for me, I refer a lot of people because they be making me mad. They be making me mad. So that's how I feel. Like, I would tell the world, like, I'm going to make it my life's mission to make sure you will never have another conversation without including my organization in it. So, and not only are they, positioned well, because like I said, I'm a strategist. People are paying for one node what my team about to pay $500. I'm like, don't you buy that foundations node that I just showed y'all. That foundations node is insane. It's $500. You're gonna get 3,000 coins a day, and it'll probably start after the new year. In 30 days, you got 90,000 rewards at a nickel. I do everything at a nickel. I'd rather manage their expectations. You have $4,500 a month. Where can you take $500? I spend that on Amazon, hair, nails, and self-care, fast food, and gas. Now you have an asset over a liability. It's for me, the math is mathing. Because what if, like, I have grown children? I got my children the node because I'm adopted. And I just felt like my job as a parent is to make sure I leave them better than what I ever was. My children are now like I just feel like we're setting things up to, they're gonna be running stuff. Eventually one day I won't be here, but they're set for life. I can sleep in peace. I did my job.
Hey, do we have other questions anybody would like to ask? Well, we got like about 5 minutes probably, so we'll round out at the bottom of the hour. Anybody else have any questions they want to ask? Not great session, Deanna. I think everybody learned a lot here. Jacqueline definitely gonna be in touch with you on this. And I'm gonna take over the share real quick here. Deanna, I'm gonna just give people so they can, do that. So they can get, I'm not going to present the rest of the content, otherwise we're gonna be here for 3 hours plus. However, I will put it on Patreon. So I'm gonna give the links for our Patreon, our Telegram groups, which is where we continue our discussion when we're not, not on the live meetup. So let me go ahead and share that on screen. There's also a link. I put a link in there for the Telegram group. Jacqueline will be sharing information in there. If you want to contact her and you want to know more about what Deanna shared today, you can reach in there. Jacqueline is in the Telegram group. And then we have our Patreon here. So we have support for our group, and there's some affiliate links, things like that as well that we have. So you can use your QR if you're not already to Patreon. I'll be sharing the slides there for my session. And Jacqueline, if you want to share the slides from this one as well, you can share that in the Telegram group for everybody who's there as well. So I'll just leave that up for a second. I think the only key thing I was going to discuss today was about the super cycle, which is basically, and I'm guessing, Deanna, this is actually connected to the overall performance of the Bitcoin market and all the other cryptos. Is that correct? Would
Yes,
that be right?
it's definitely an altcoin. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there are two scenarios. Usually every 4 years we have the traditional 4 year cycle. In that 4 year cycle, we end up with what we call a blow off top. So it gets like really high and then everything goes down. But what we've seen this time, a lot of people are frustrated because they're like, it's just going sideways. It's not really going way up. It didn't really, it's kind of just going, but I think that's actually a good thing because that indicates there's a good chance that we're in the second scenario, which is what we call a super cycle. If it's a super cycle, that means we're going to probably keep on going somewhat with a bunch of bumps steadily up over the course of the next year plus, right? And that is good for everybody because it means what's happening is that like all these companies like BlackRock and Strategy and Metaplan, they put so much money, all these institutions are putting money in. So instead of us seeing the traditional cycle that we're used to, where it goes up and then goes way down, it's probably you're going to have little corrections, but it's probably going to keep going up for a longer time. So my guess is that we may be looking at that. We'll see what happens this last month of the year. But that was one of the key points I wanted to make for everybody. Everything else will be in the slides. You want to know what's happening around Africa, Diaspora, African American projects, everything else, you can find them in there. And then the other one is a Telegram group, which you can grab right here. Okay, so a Telegram group is where we have discussion every day, and myself and Isaac and quite a few others do moderate that group. So even though there are a lot of crazy things out on Telegram, it's a price you pay, right? I mean, it's very open, so you can freely share things, but also it means you can get all kinds of crazy stuff out there. It's just kind of a trade-off. But we do make sure to moderate our group, so we try to keep all the scammy stuff out of there. We try to make sure that you only get stuff that is, that is legit, and we've kind of verified it already. So you can use a QR code there, or you can do the link in the chat if you want to join on our Telegram. And then the other information, everything that's going on every day. Joseph posts out there about all the trading stuff as well. We'll have the information from today's session and meetup, as well as a Patreon, the affiliate stuff, anything else that you're interested in. So I'll just leave it open for any last couple of questions here before we wrap it up. So got another 2-3 minutes. Any final questions anybody would like to ask for Deanna or any of the topics we've had today before we wrap it up? All right, cool. Well, everyone, thanks so much for coming out. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday, rest of your weekend. What is it? Bill
Yeah,
Jones.
it's Joseph. Sorry, I'm a bit occupied. That's why I didn't follow up on Diana's presentation. I just wanted to know if there is a website or a link to check out the platforms he's using and probably do your research on. If there is anywhere we can just go to find out all the details about her platform.
Yeah, contact Jacqueline. I think she's in the chat. Jacqueline, you want to say hello to people so you know who you are?
Hello, everyone. You can reach me. I put you can email me, reach out to me via email at jacka@protonmail.com. I mean, we can have a, conversation via phone or whatever, and I can share all that information with you. The main thing right now, I would say, if you have any interest at all in what Diana had discussed with you today, the first thing is to create that account. It's free. Create the account, and then when you get that account, you'll be able to go in and see all the information of what we have going on. And like I had put in there, each brand does have its own website as well. So feel free to contact me and I'll take you through more.
Okay, so to create the account, what website do I go to, or what link do I follow?
Well, you reach out to me and then I will give you a link and then get your account created. You want to put your email here in the chat and then I'll go ahead and capture it and then we can begin our conversation with that. No problem.
Okay, I'll do that right away.
Yep, you can do that. And also he's on Telegram as well, Jacqueline. So he's in the group if you guys miss each
Okay.
other.
And that was
Yep.
Joseph, correct?
Yeah, I'm Joseph.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
John, can I say something to Joseph real quick before we go?
Mm-hmm.
Joseph, can you hear me?
He's
Hello?
on mute. There he is. Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. You said what?
All right. You see how you shared that information on the platform today?
Yeah.
Yeah, we love that, like, because you really do understand. I think you did a phenomenal job, like sharing that information. To me, I look at it like if that is something that you're interested in, tell Jacqueline to give you my number because I want to compensate people for sharing that information. Because honestly, I believe in focus on what you do best and delegate the rest. I don't want to read them charts. My job is the blockchain. But if that's something that you want to do, definitely get with her and ask Jacqueline, can you get my contact information so we could talk about that? And if you are already sharing it or willing to share that information with us, we definitely will compensate you for that. We got some tokens for you somewhere here.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll leave my email address on the chat page so we can get
Awesome.
along after this.
Thank you so much.
Nice. Any last thoughts or questions before we wrap it up? Good. All right, everyone. Will have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks for coming out. And please do join us on the Telegram, on the Patreon, continuing the conversation. And we'll see you guys in the next one and in the new year. So have a great new year.
Thank you.
Thanks, Deanna. Thanks, Joseph. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Jacqueline.